Welcome, listeners, to 128 of the Plastic Posse podcast. We're super stoked that you're here. We're down one, but we have four of us, and it's going to be a great episode. And we have a few topics lined up, but for the most part, we're going to do this live. So, with that, I have Scott with me from Utah. How's it going today, Scott?
Going good, John. It's good to see you guys, and just had a great day. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but some football and a lot of time at the bench.
That's the best kind of day. I think that describes the perfect fall day. Maybe like a pot roast is the only thing to add to it.
There you go.
I'll keep going west. Grant, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. It's really good. I've got power this time, so that's a positive. I'm just getting ready to tackle a few kits here and there and have some fun. Again, watch football like Scott did yesterday, the rest of you guys, and then worked on some stuff last night.
Nice. And you've already taken advantage of some Black Friday sales, it seems?
It has, if you don't know, well, it's probably late by now, but Andy's having a Black Friday sale. I got the DOS Works 132nd scale aircraft. Pretty good, great deal on that. I also picked up the 1/16 scale 7.5 millimeter anti-tank gun because I just wanted to build it. I haven't built a 1/16 scale kit yet, and it's small, so I think I'd be a good one to start with. Then I might move on to my Jeep after that eventually one day. But yeah, and I got some other stuff for some friends, some Christmas gifts here and there for some people and stuff like that.
Nice. I love how they call it Black Friday when it's totally a week before Black Friday.
Exactly. It's crazy.
I was thinking it's probably a marketing ploy, I assume, because it's like let's get the modelers before the actual Black Friday. So when like Sprue Brothers and Squadron drop their Black Friday, people have already bought from Andy for his Black Friday. I'm convinced that's part of the strategy.
It's all
Oh,
a ploy.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
His videos get more elaborate every year. He's getting to be a polished pro.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
I want
like
to go.
almost
Yeah,
TV commercial level with those things.
yeah. I want to make a road trip one of these days out there to see his new store. I was able to see
Yeah.
his old store at Nats in 2018 in
Same.
Phoenix. Yeah, and I want to head out there to see the new store. It's massive, I hear. So I do a
Yeah.
road trip.
I mean, some of the prices are just stupid good. All the
Yeah.
pre-sale prices basically for the 1/16 scale stuff.
Oh, it's massive. It's just such good. I mean, like the Sherman, or not Sherman, but like the M8, the Jeep are just so. It's just like cheaper than a regular 130 scale kit.
It's real good. All right, moving on to TJ. How are you doing? I know you had a pretty cool trip yesterday we'll get into.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. And it's Sunday morning. My team doesn't play today, but so I don't really have anything particular or anyone particular to root for. But as far as American football goes, but I'll be watching it because I'll probably be down here at the bench most of the time and have some games on in the background. So there's some games I'm interested in watching just for the fun of it. But yeah, glad my team's not playing today because they're terrible.
Yeah, they've
They're
been kind
they're
of struggling,
and
man.
yeah, that's what happens when half your starters on injured reserve and
Right.
you have the oldest roster in the NFL and
Yeah.
everything bad, anything bad that could happen to them has happened to them this season. It's even Coach Dan Quinn was like, I've never seen anything like this. Just the
Mhm.
amount of starters that get injured, and some of
Yeah.
them are like pretty serious injuries too,
Yeah.
like season-ending injuries, but not all of them. So, but look, man, it's I'm not one of these people that wants them to lose either. Like hear a lot of other fans on like the Commander subreddit, like, oh yeah, just tank so we can get a good draft pick. Like I understand that theory, but as a fan, I don't want to watch them lose no matter what. So yeah, I am torn, but hey, I still love them. So and I still love football. So yeah, it'll be a good day today.
Yeah, the struggle is real. The Utah Jazz here, the NBA team here has been on a like 3-year rebuild, and it's like losing on purpose, holding your players out. It makes it real tough sometimes.
Yeah, it doesn't help that the Capitals aren't playing or aren't doing that well this season either. Again, another team that's got a bunch of old guys in it, but I mean Ovechkin's still scoring goals. I mean, he had a hat trick the other night, which was pretty cool. My daughter went to a Capitals game last Monday for her DECA class at school. It's like some sort of I don't know what the acronym is, but it's like marketing, some sort of marketing class. So she got to go, and it was like a whole day field trip. They left the school at like 9:30. They went to Georgetown in DC and went shopping and had lunch and then went to I think it's still the Capital One Center where the Capitals play and met with the team's marketing people and they gave them a presentation about marketing sports marketing, and then they got to go down on the ice for warm-ups. She got a puck from Anthony Bolivier,
Oh,
which was
cool.
That's
was
pretty
pretty
cool.
awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really. I told her before, I was like, hey, when you go down there, like they'll flip pucks over
Yeah.
because they dump the big bucket of practice pucks. That's all they're for is practice, warm
Yep.
up. And I was like, yeah, if you wave at them or whatever, and they'll probably flip you one, and you get a text from her, I got a puck, and I was like, who was it? She's like, it was never. I think it was 72. I'm like, oh, it's Olivier. That's cool. And then they watched the whole game, and the Capitals won, so she got to
Wow.
That's
experience
cool.
all good. She didn't get to
Wow.
watch them lose, and Ovechkin scored a goal. So I'm like, you got to see Ovechkin score probably one of his last goals. He's
Yep.
good feeling he's not playing after this season. I
Mm.
I think he's going to retire. So yeah, there we go. That's what I got going on. This is the sports podcast now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was going to say the Broncos have a bye as well, and for some reason they're unstoppable. So it's not a norm. So everybody's biting their fingernails out here. But yeah, I'm
Oh
in
yeah, I've heard it
Yeah.
from Steve Baker. He
Yeah.
texts me a lot because
last week against the
it's
Chiefs, wild.
That
yeah,
was
it was freaking
crazy.
awesome.
Um, so yeah, listeners, welcome to the plastic. I should say,
Sports Posse podcast.
yeah, the Sports Posse podcast. So buckle up. We're going to talk about your latest and greatest football highlights. We have Stephen A. Smith stopping by later. Yeah, Skip Bayless. We passed on him.
Yeah, and it was good. It was good. We did. We actually JB and I saw Jim Bates on a Zoom last night. Haven't seen him in forever, and he was talking about he's been to like 10 Kraken games this year.
Wow.
I got to go see a Mammoth game. We have our own NHL team here in Salt Lake, but I haven't been to one yet. So
Yeah,
maybe
JB always dropping zooms like
Random
I'm
times.
not as bad as Jackson, but I definitely, I had some beers at lunch and came home, drove 3 hours to come home. I was not drunk, just so everyone no one says anything. Had a couple beers at lunch, waited a little while, then drove home. Because we'll talk about what I was doing yesterday, and then my wife and I were like, "Yeah, let's go out to the pub in town because they have Christmas cocktails now." So I was like, "Come on, I'll take you." So we went and had a couple beers there, and I was really sleepy because I woke up early yesterday, and I was like, you know what? It's like 10:15. I'm just gonna lay down, and then I fell asleep, and I think I woke up at like 2 o'clock. I really had to go to the bathroom, so I get up and look at my phone, and I see a link for a Zoom. I'm like. Always.
Dude, I get that. I mean, I was traveling for work this week, went to dinner, and went back to the hotel. It was a little later, but I'm like, I'm just gonna take a nap at 7 p.m. And then I woke up and did work. But no, I totally get it. And yeah, Zooms are infrequent, but yeah, I got to see Bates yesterday, which was good, and Justin hung out with us as well. And yeah, Mark Bradley stopped by too, who has I'm convinced listeners, maybe actually, let's just go into this. I'd love to talk about it, and I'd love to hear from listeners on what is your local club meeting like, because I'll tell you the best club meeting that I go to. And, being in multiple, organized four-letter meetings, those are fun, don't get me wrong. But, Mark and Jamie, they put on one hell of a meeting up in Meade, Colorado. So if you're ever out here, he's going to kill me if I get this wrong. The second Saturday of every month, he hosts a pretty awesome meeting. They put on a hell of a show, best barbecue in Colorado. But yeah, it's a hell of a fun meeting. I think we've talked about this before, so maybe we don't dwell on it. But like, if you want a good meeting, go out to Mark Bradley's house. It's pretty awesome. Their hospitality is unrivaled.
you get to visit Bradley Hobbies, and you'll never go away hungry.
Yeah. So with that, we're going to jump into another topic. TJ went to a museum. We'll get back to that, but I think we'll start off by, we're doing things a little differently. Like we mentioned, we are a sports podcast. Now we're going to merge over to scale aircraft modeling because apparently that's what everybody's buying these days. I'd love to start off with Scott. Before we started recording, there was kind of around a room of what we're working on, but more importantly, this new genre. Some people think of us as an armor only centric podcast, but we're gonna break that mold today. And with that, I'll turn it over to Scott, who Picked a subject that he wants to build that honestly surprised me, listeners, but it makes sense looking at Scott and looking at the aircraft. It's kind of like, yeah, if Scott was to fly an airplane, I think he'd fly this airplane. So, Scott, I'm going to turn it over to you. Why don't you talk about the subject, what propelled you to choose it, and then we'll just go around the room to focus on some aircraft subjects that we're interested in.
What propelled me? I see what you did there. I'm not sure about the comment about if I was going to fly one, the Dauntless. I'm trying to unpack that a little bit, but yeah, I've had an aircraft bug for a while, and I'm not sure why, but we were talking about kind of what we did, and yesterday I did a deep clean on my bench and put a new fresh coat of oil on it. Just got everything off of it, really cleaned it well, got getting it ready, and then I'm looking and I've got Peter Podlosky's Spitfire that he sent me graciously. Thank you, Peter. Beautiful model, but airframe got here in a great shape, but the seat and some of the stuff in the cockpit needs to be fixed. And then I've got a little Mitsubishi Claude that Martin and Marco gave me while we were at SMC as well, and it doesn't have any repairs, but I need to unpack it and put it in the case. And then I've got a Tamiya Mark One Spitfire, and then as John alluded to, I've got a Flyhawk 72nd scale Dauntless, and man, it keeps ending up on my bench, and looks like that's going to be my next build. So I guess I'm in a wing kind of a place. Lots and lots of aircraft, and yeah, it's just I've also got a couple other things. Justin and Gabe and I have been talking about an F5 build, and I've got a AFB Club F5, and Ian got me an A4 from Magic Factory that's gorgeous. Just kind of in an airplane place, guys. Kind of weird.
So, do you think you'll start the Dauntless soon?
Yeah, I think so. I think like I said, I've got to sort these repairs, but I think I'm going to dive into it. I got the cleaning done so that I have a long Thanksgiving holiday, and I think that Dauntless is going to be on the bench, so we're going to dive into it.
Nice, nice. Yeah, it's gosh, it's so tiny. I mean, it's probably no wider than, your pinky to thumb, right?
It's actually, I mean, the Dauntless is a decent sized bird, so it's actually not as small as you would think. I don't know if you guys have built anything from fly. Oh, TJ's done their FT 17s, I know, but it's
And their
gorgeous.
Abrams.
Yeah,
I
oh
did their
yeah.
M1A1
Yeah.
Abrams.
They're legit. Like this 72nd scale Dauntless has perforated dive flaps. It's got raised rivets and recessed rivets both. I mean, it's a pretty legit little kit. And then I've ordered an aftermarket 3D printed engine and engine cowl to go on it. And yeah, it's a beautiful little kit. So yeah, I'm gonna dive into that.
I get where you're going there.
Yeah, nice pun, Scott. And are you
Well,
doing
not as good as what has propelled me to the project, but I try. But
is is it the three tone, or are you doing like the dull blue and gray?
yeah, this is an SBD3, so it'll just be
Okay, an early one,
the
yeah.
blue and gray early one. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll tell you, if it was if they made an SBD1, I probably would have gotten that. I really like those yellow wings. Dauntlesses, the really early ones are really colorful. I think in 72nd scale, that would be terrific to do something like that. But I like the blue over gray. It's
Oh yeah,
pretty classic.
medium blue
Yeah.
over gray. Oh, I love
Hmm.
it. That's what I did
Yeah.
that first Wildcat in.
Yeah. It's a classic scheme. Really, really lovely.
There's one out here in Colorado. That's the one they restored.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the Dauntless. It's a great aircraft, and I mean, when you've got a dive bomber that shot down zeros, and with one pilot actually took a zero out with the tip of his wing because the thing was built to withstand the G forces of the dive, and so he was up there dogfighting in one of the engagements. I forget his name. You guys probably know it, but anyway, he shot down a couple of zeros, and then he took a zero out apparently by ramming it with his wingtip and ripping the zero's wing off. So it's a pretty badass airframe.
I'll go over to you, TJ. You just finished your P40, but I'm sure you have another one on the bench. What's the next aircraft project for yourself?
Um, well, yeah, I think I've mentioned it before. I've got that Edward FM2. It's built. It's ready for primer. I just gotta like actually, do it and sitting behind me by my cat there. If you can see it over over my shoulder. You better not go over there and mess with it. But yeah, I don't know. I got this. I have a fascination with the Wildcat. All of them. I've done the what was that? The first one I did. I think it was a dash
F4,
three.
F3. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a dash three. I have another dash three. There's some pretty cool dash fours that I would like to do. Oh, they have some pretty neat schemes. And yeah, I don't know. I just really like it. I don't know. It's just it's kind of a stupid looking airplane. Like when you see it on its wheels, like it doesn't I don't know. It just looks funny. It doesn't look like I have my the first one I did and the P40 next to each other in my display case upstairs in my bedroom. And it just looks so goofy, just like sitting on its wheels with that big gangly landing gear that it had.
It was
But
a great, it's a great airplane. It did a
oh,
lot.
yeah, no,
Really,
it was amazing. I love it. I'll probably do more at some point, but and I also have the MiG 21R that's long languishing on my shelf that I messed up the trying to peel the decals off, and I could make it work. I can repaint it. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I don't know, man. I like Scott. I've really been into aircraft lately. I mean, I know I'm working on this one tank over here, but I've just really been feeling aircraft really since pretty much all last year, man. I think this year I've only done I think three models, one of which was an airplane, and the other two were like the one was a tank, and the other one was a tank that was already almost done. So you can barely even count that one. Go ahead, Scott.
I think it's Steve Baker. I think he's exerting undue influence on the podcast crew here.
Yeah, that's probably part of it. I mean, Steve and I talk aircraft a lot, and he also likes the MiG 21, and he has the new Edward MiG 21 F-13, which is beautiful kit, and he happened to send me one for Christmas out of the kindness of his heart, because Steve's that kind of guy. He's definitely like one of the most generous and nicest guys in the hobby.
Oh
He's a
yeah.
hell of a friend too. Nothing like getting a big old box in the mail. And he sent me he bought the initial release they did with like the I think it's all in check service. So there's two kits. There's like one of their double boxings. And it comes with this big thick reference book. He sent me the book too. So I have this really sweet MiG 21 F-13 reference book. I think of all of that aircraft in check service. And it's a beautiful kit. I looked at the plastic. Um, I mean, Edward nowadays is probably one of the best, if not best, 48 scale airplane manufacturers out there. So yeah, I that one I will obviously move pretty high up on the queue, and then I'm working on another aircraft that we haven't really talked about it. I haven't shared any pictures of it, but me and Peter Fitzlowski and Jensen, if you all remember him, he used to be on this podcast. We're working on a big aircraft. All three of us are doing it. Peter's a little busy now working on the 72nd scale Tomcat that we sent him. So he's going to take care of that first, and he'll get back to what we're working on before that we kind of started after SMC. He got a little salty because he was like, "You're bringing this to SMC next year, right?" And like, I can't bring this to SMC, dude. It is way too big. He's like, I only agreed to do this because you said you'd bring it to SMC. I'm like, I don't think I said that. I think you thought I said that. And I was like, look, here's the deal. If I can assemble it without the wings and put the wings on like after the fact, I will try to bring it. Because that way I think I can do it. With the fuselage, and I can take the wings off and stack them next to the fuselage and keep it in a relatively small box. But I was like, I make no promises, but I will finish it. We will finish it. You should bring yours because you can drive. But they also told him like, dude, if you want, I'll mail it to you, and you can just throw it in your car if because he's gonna drive again next year. It would be probably the same price for me to just mail it to you than it would be to try to get it, across the ocean. So we'll see what happens.
And he's great as far as if you need any advice in building boxes, man. He does a really good job. You know, he sent out that I think it was a Tempest to
Yeah.
Justin, and then this Spitfire. I mean, just he's really good at engineering that. But there's also like some really cool aircraft coming down the pike. I mean, we've all seen all the Qatari announcements, and then Great Wall Hobby is finally tackling a 132nd scale F6 F3 Hellcat. And I'm all on board with that one for sure. I mean, a good Hellcat in 32nd scale, that would be sweet.
I mean, the Qatari P-47, I think everyone's kind of been talking about
Yeah.
that. That's gonna be big. P-47 is huge. That's a
Yeah.
big airplane. If you've ever seen one in person, that's just big. That'll be cool. I mean, it's Qatari, so Qatari, from what I understand, is amazing. They none of their subjects really grab me right now. I'm not really a Spitfire guy and or a 109 guy, but I do kind of want to get one just because of how nice they are. And I think
Yeah.
Andy actually has the one of the spits on Black Friday sale. I'm like, I just don't
Oh man.
really care about this Spitfire. It's cool, but it's just not what I really like.
I kind of dig him a little bit, but man, I guess I didn't know he had any Qatari stuff. I'm gonna have to do some looking between Grant and you. You're gonna make me spend some money with Andy.
Yeah, and speaking of Andy spending money, Grant, you picked up that Lift 46 subject.
Right. Yeah, I got the Messerschmitt P1101, which I saw at SMC's on the table, and I kind of fell in love with it, the huge tricycle landing gear on it, and it just looks like a beautiful aircraft.
That was
And
Dan Brooker's.
yeah, Dan's,
Yeah, it's
and it
nice.
was beautiful paint job on it, by the way. Just way to go, Dan. Nice work. And I just kind of fell in love with that aircraft for some reason. I saw it on sale, and it was 20 some odd dollars off, so I couldn't beat that. So I jumped on it. I'm gonna try and do that. I've got a few things I want to finish before the end of the year, but I'm definitely gonna work on that. I've talking about Qatari. There was a Spitfire, one of the early Spitfires I'm thinking about getting also. I just want to, hearing everybody talk about the Qatari kits and seeing how good they are, I just kind of want to experience it. I mean, Gary Baker out here in San Diego is even building one of the Messerschmitts. And so if a figure guy like Gary Baker's quality can tackle it, I mean, that's a hell of a kit. So, I definitely want to try one of their kits too. And like you
Yeah.
said, TJ, that P-47 is going to be a monster because we've seen the one out there in Colorado, and that's a big aircraft. And, imagine that in 132nd scale. That's going to take up some room. That's going to be a beautiful kit.
I've got a jug downstairs that Matt McDougall gave me, a 32nd scale trumpeter, and yeah, it takes up a large portion of real estate for sure. Really good. But yeah, the Qatari, I'm sure it'll be amazing. And then they also announced at Telford, right? Like a BF-109E. I know, TJ, you're not really a Messerschmitt kind of guy, but the nice thing about the E model is you can get all those Battle of Britain schemes. They're pretty striking, a lot of yellow nose schemes, and, I think really historical subjects.
Right. Weren't those the ones that also fought in Africa? You can use that
Yeah.
color scheme there too. So that's kind of cool. And
Yeah.
the green and the light green and the local grab. So that'd be cool.
Yeah, and they have, from a modeling standpoint, they have the diagonal reinforcement on the tail, on the elevators,
Yeah, the
Mm.
those
horizontal
horizontal
stabs.
stabilizers.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and so I think it's a pretty interesting airframe, but I think Atari's really on a roll as far as subjects that are going to sell really well and that people are going to just gobble up, obviously.
Welcome to the Plastic Plane podcast.
Yeah, exactly. And Grant, I did want to mention, I don't think
Yeah.
we highlighted it. One Man Army has stencils for it. TJ got them at
Oh, I do.
SMC. Yeah, they're pretty dope.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So
they're
That's
amazing.
the one. Is that the one Steve Baker was using too? I think is it,
he used One Man Army on his Qatari 109, but they
right.
just came out with the set for that DOS work kit, and it
Oh,
looks really nice. Bases by Bill has the
Yeah.
whole selection, so
oh, okay, cool.
check
Yeah,
out
you can
Bases by
ask
Bill.
Christian. Yeah,
Okay.
Christian will get you taken care of, and we will have Sven on the podcast, the owner of One Man Army. But he wanted to wait until after the holidays. But yeah, we will have him on the Plastic Plane podcast for all of our listeners. Super super great guy, and the stencils that he makes it's unbelievable. He can get such beautiful printing and so small. I mean, it's a really impressive product.
I think he's literally the nicest guy in the hobby. I don't think there's anyone nicer. And then I'll just round out this section. I'm probably going to build a 72nd scale 109. I know, boring, but man, or a 48th because I have the Edward Royal class version I picked up, or whatever's in the red box. I've been super inspired lately. I picked up the new 48 scale Luftwaffe Modeling Workbook, I should say. For those listeners that are interested to live in North America, shout out to Chris Sieber at Luftshop, also goes by LuftRom72. He's got a huge selection of the Japanese publications, and one of them is the new 148th Luftwaffe modeling workbook by Oliver Pesse from Germany. And I think with like him and Chris Walkup, honestly, for me, are like tied for the best Luftwaffe scale modelers. The book is absolutely fantastic. A lot of the previews online are just killer, and it's just gorgeous. And I can't wait to get a copy of it. I bought a couple for myself, Mark and Steve. We all put in a kind of a pre-order with Chris, and it's yeah, it looks friggin' awesome. And I followed Oliver's work on Facebook. His Facebook handle and on Insta as well as Erla work, and it is his camouflage, his weathering is just amazing. So as soon as I saw this book advertised, I was like, where the hell can I get it? Because it is, yeah, it's the best. He's unbelievable. And what I really love, he does some awesome late war stuff, but the ones that really that blow my mind are the desert ones. He does a Henschel 129, and then also he does a JU-88 in kind of like that tropical scheme. And oh man, the way he gets the yellow to pop, and all the stains, it's just really inspiring. So I think with that, I'll probably have certainly a Luftwaffe aircraft, likely a 109 on the bench. I do have Delusions of Grandeur, and I have a Wingnut Wings AEG that I'd love to build. It's just the size of my basement, so if I build it, I don't know where the hell I'd put it. But man, the subject is amazing. And then I'll also just say one more subject I'd love to build in 26 would be a 48 scale B-26 by Mini Art. It was sent to me by Jeremy Moore. Shout out. Thank you, sir. It's on my list. Himself and what I like to do is I'll give anybody anything. The rule is you just got to build it. So I'll it's on my list, and I just love the subject. I have Tony Bell's engines and upgrade set. So yeah, I just got to get to it because the B-26 is one of the coolest twin engine bombers I think of World War II. But long story short, I think a 109 will probably be in my future. I have all the real colors for it, and it's just I think there's just a lot of flexibility for later war schemes, especially with the weird like creams and cool colors or natural metal underside. It's just awesome. But yeah, Scott, I saw you run and grab some books. Don't tell me you got that 48 scale Luftwaffe book.
No, I got a couple books from AK though. I don't know if we want to talk about stuff we've got, but I wanted this book, which is the new AK book on French armor, and it's if you like French armor, it's really really good, very colorful. You know, a lot of AK's books, and I know people will. I got it direct from Spain, and I know people will be like, "Oh, you know, tariffs," and it was no issue at all. They didn't charge me anything. Nobody was standing on my desk and on my porch, excuse me, with a Spanish hat demanding money. It was really really easy. But I also got Martin has been bugging me. Kobach has been bugging me to get this book. But it's Emmanuel Noallier, who is one of his muses for buildings, and it's called From Reality to Realism. And this is a must-have, guys. This book is amazing. I can see why Martin loves it so much, and it's such an inspiration. But I mean, it's if you're into cracked concrete and old faded wood and just making buildings look really, really old. This is an amazing book. It's really, really good. Highly recommend it.
God, I'm looking at AK's website right now, and that French armor book is only 14 euros.
Yeah, it's not bad. And like I said, I order from Spain from AK, and I live in Utah, and
Mhm.
it's 5 days from Spain to my doorstep. I mean, I would recommend you get three or four things, but I mean, ordering from AK, I mean, obviously they're a sponsor, but this is kind of off the cuff. It's really easy, and like I said, I didn't have any issues with tariffs or anything. People are scared to kind of order from overseas, but super easy, not that expensive. Call your buddy and see if he wants a couple things and put together an order. It's easy. But yeah, that French armor book is really really nice, very colorful, a lot of subjects. And yeah, there's a lot of chars and a lot of Renaults, but there's some other really really cool French subjects in there too. And if you want to do French armor, obviously they're a lot more colorful than a lot of other nations are, armies are, lots of blues and, really interesting colors that they use, forest greens and, just different things. But yeah, it was like 15 bucks, and I ordered 4 or 5 things. Pretty easy
Yeah.
peasy.
Yeah, and their Black Friday sale at 20% off. I think when I look at that, it's like, oh, that just helps with shipping costs in my mind,
Mhm.
and it's still half the price of what US distributors are charging.
Mhm.
So, man, okay, so we're gonna build some aircraft. Listeners, throw out your aircraft subjects. We're gonna take a pause from armor and we'll look at wing things over the next 6 months. So hopefully, if you enjoy that, you'll tune back because we're done with armor, and we'll focus on aircraft. Going into what's next. I'd love to talk to each of us. I think over the last couple of weeks, we're still harnessing that motivation and inspiration from SMC. Go ahead and take a shot for those counting. That's the first reference this episode, so lucky you. But with that, I'd love to talk about what's on everyone's bench, what they've been working on, or if they haven't been working on anything, I guess what their plans are. Maybe I'll just kick this off. I'm working actively on the AK, the new Citroen van. I think they call it like the Type HY commercial van, but we all know it's the corrugated steel panel van from Citroen, and it's just a super unique subject. I've been working on it for about 2 weeks now. It's a gem to put together. I mean, you could literally build it in a night, and it's no fit issues, very clean, and then it really just kind of opens up the way to weathering. And there's countless examples online. Scott, you're looking like you want to say something.
Yeah, no, just as you're talking about it, the finish on John's van is really beautiful. The patina he's building in, and if anybody wants to see it, you can go to if you're a Patreon. He's been posting pictures to our Patreon account. But anyway, it's lovely.
Yeah, so I've been working on it for, I think I took a day to build it, a weekend to paint the finish. So I have a full series of photos I'll post on Patreon. But yeah, really trying out that hairspray technique that I talked about in the last episode. But the last 24 hours, I spent all day yesterday on Saturday. It was a really nice day. Just kind of tuned out the world and sat at the bench, all oil work. So really focused on bumping up the contrast and really just the color saturation for the rust tones, and then went back with some really desaturated sky blue, robin's egg blue kind of look, and recreated chips on the vehicle and kind of layered that paint that has been so faded. And it was actually a really fun exercise. I had never used oils for chipping, and the ability to get super, 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 super tight chips with oil paints was really incredible. And it has probably influenced me to use more oils more often for actual chip paint because of just the ability, the flow, the controllability, and the erasability. And I just really like how they came out. So obviously you need to let it, fully cure for a day or two before then you can go on top of it. But once they cure, they ain't going anywhere. And it's just been a really fun exercise. So I threw some cardboard boxes in it. I have some yellow crates in it. I got to add some straw and some leaves in the back of the truck too. And then I have some 3D printed raccoons that I'm going to add to it. But overall, it's been a really fun project. And it's one of those where I have completely dedicated myself to this one project, and it's crazy how much momentum and progress you can make just within a short time if you have one sole focus. So I hope to get this completely finished over. I doubt I get it finished before Thanksgiving when I fly back to Pittsburgh for a couple days, but certainly it'll be done before the end of the year. And yeah, it's just been a lot of fun. Yeah, stay tuned. I'll hopefully post. I hope to have the vehicle done maybe even yeah, maybe within the next day or two. But anyway, that's enough about what's on my bench. I'll kick it over to Scott. I know you're not working on a project specifically, but maybe what's going on in your workspace.
Like I said, just did a deep clean in preparation for the Thanksgiving weekend. I've got a long, 5 day long weekend, and always love Thanksgiving, spend time with your family and get away from work and watch some football. But it's a great time to get a lot of modeling done. And like I mentioned, I think I'm going to be diving into that Flyhawk Dauntless. And, we already spoke about that. But it's good to have, John, you mentioned just sort of clearing the air and focusing on a project. And, it's great to have a clean bench and, get back into a single project mode. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Nice, nice, nice. Grant, what's on your bench?
Currently, well, with our last conversation with Sam Dwyer, I kind of went back and started watching a lot of his videos again. Big, huge fan of his site, his YouTube page. I got out my H39 that he did. I was about a quarter of the way done, and I saw some of the changes he made to his. For example, the changing out some of the fitting nuts and stuff like that for the chassis, the muffler protector with .10, some stretch or sheet styrene, and some other odds and ends. So I'm tackling that right now, and that's just a little fun build. And I got a Schweimagen that I pulled off of the shelf of Dune that I want to work on. For the H39, I went to the website on Colts that he got his fuel tank from, but they also have some Schweimagen wheels, the bigger ones for the Tamiya kit, which are kind of cool looking. So I got those. I got some other small stuff from that guy. I'd have to look his name up real quick, but off the top of my head, I can't remember. But he's got some really cool some stuff. He's got the antenna mount for the H39 that was used on the French, also used on other French tanks, that goes on the fender with the supports that raised it. So I'm gonna download those today and throw them on the 3D printer and see if they'll work, and get that done. That's about it. I have a 4-day weekend. I don't have a big 5-day like some lucky people. So I'm gonna definitely, we don't have anybody coming this year, which is nice. It's just me, my wife, and my father-in-law. So it's gonna be a nice quiet time. So it's definitely time to hit the bench and just get some videos done and for Scott, and then do some other stuff. So I can't wait.
Are you tempted at all by the Mandalorian
Yeah, God.
Bandai kit?
Yeah, it's staring at me right now, actually. It's such a nice little kit. I kind of want to build the Revell one first. I've got that one also. And but I want to tackle this. I might just throw it together and then buy another one, and then do that one, strip everything off of it and do different paints on it, stuff like that. But it's such a beautiful kit. The detail on it is so wonderful. It's just, that's screaming at me too. So
That Rebel version is that like 1/24th? It's pretty big, isn't it?
I think it's 132nd. I'm not
Oh,
sure,
okay.
but it's bigger though. It's a lot bigger, and but I want to try that one eventually too. But I just, it's one of those things where you see people build like John's wagon, and you see that and you're like, oh, I got that. I want to try that. It's like, no, I got to do this, and then it's like I'm jumping all over the place right now, so I got to kind of focus myself. And then like you, I cleaned my bench yesterday too, so that was kind of a nice change in cleaning up everything. And I'm trying to. Then I see TJ's like early Sherman that he posted pictures of, and I'm like, that's cool. So I'm like looking at Sherman's at my local crack house at Burbank House of Hobbies, and it's just crazy. I got to stop looking at your guys' pages and stuff like that. So
Nice. And speaking of TJ's work, love to go over you, TJ. Talk about that unique Sherman that you're building right now.
Yeah, I think I kind of touched on it last episode, but what I'm building is like the M4 Sherman. It is, from what I can piece together, the very first production Sherman built in the United States, and it was delivered in February of 1942. According to the Sherman Minutia website, it was very important that the first one was delivered in February and not March. And I think it was like delivered February 28th. I don't know why they don't really touch on it. I'm sure it's in Son of Sherman somewhere why that was so important. I think it had to do with like the contract that
Yeah,
we had
money.
with
yeah,
the UK government. But it's really cool. I was telling the guys the other day, I'm like, this is more interesting than I thought it was going to be, just because it is extremely unique. There is no other tank like it, because I believe Michael, the one that's preserved in Bovington, is the second production Sherman. So even this one is different than that one. That was a more finalized version. This is like it's really the bridge between the T6 pilot and the actual production M4A1. So it's got a lot of weird features on it that you don't see anywhere else. It's been really fun. Surprisingly decent conversion kit from Tiger Model Designs, which look, I love. I love Joe's stuff, but it can be difficult to work with sometimes. This one is gone together fairly smooth, with no real issues, no real casting defects either. There's a couple here or there, but you'll get that with resin. Nothing major, like a air bubble or whatever, which is easy enough to fill. Yeah, so it's been really fun. So I've been working on that. Maybe could get it ready for primer by the end of this week. I got to finish some tracks and put on some of the more details. And the other thing I pulled it out this morning because I was like, I need to do something a little different. Yeah, I don't know. I just walked past my shelf and it was sitting on the shelf, and it's the Shinka, which is German for snail. And it's a machining Krieger kit. It's a garage resin kit that I bought over the summer from, I can't remember the guy that made it. It's pretty cool. I bought it from, I think, Tonrico hobby shop, online hobby shop that I know JB has bought stuff from them before. I bought stuff from them. Really good shop, but it's a full, like, fan design. It's like a hover thing that looks like a snail. It's like, guess why he named it Snail? And it gets a pilot in the front, which is like a PKA suit that's like grafted into it. I mean, if no one has ever played with Japanese garage resin, you're missing out because they are so good at it. And this is like literally out of the box with three pieces already, and it clicks together, and the casting is flawless. There is no issues, no bubbles, nothing. Everything fits perfectly. And you can see it's small. It's 35th scale. Yeah, I just really need something a little different. I haven't done any machining Krieger in like over a year, so I might play with this the rest of the day because I really don't feel like building another one of the tracks for the Sherman. So yeah, that's what I got going on.
Nice, nice. Getting back to your roots of machining Krieger. It's been a while, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember the last thing I did. Yeah, I think it was a suit, and it was at least a year ago, over a year ago.
Yeah, I think in 2025 we've all slowed down. I think our production numbers are way down. It's been a tough year.
Yeah, what's everyone's numbers looking like this year?
Oh God.
No comment.
Yeah.
How many, Scott? One? Do you have one?
Yeah, yeah. I had a couple, but yeah, that's I mean, just not a great year for Scott.
No.
Well, how many did you finish so far?
I think two. I've got 48 and 48 project and the SMC build. So yeah. Wow. He hangs his head in shame.
Don't feel
What
alone, dude.
Yeah,
I
what about
mean,
you, Grant?
uh, SMC, sorry, drank maybe five. That's counting figures. So it's been a rough year. It's been a rough year for me. It's been a lot of work and just not getting to the bench and stuff like that. So that's
Says
way
the
down.
says the SMC gold
Yeah,
medalist in
whatever.
Masters.
You've got a goal too, so don't give me any crud. So yeah, it's like I think you were saying, TJ. It's been a slow year.
Yeah,
Were you counting yours, JB?
I was looking over my shoulder thinking what I've built, and I think I finished the the M1009 truck. I finished the Chinook Panther, and I might have finished one fantasy figure. I'm not going to count the Panther and Dicker Max because I finished those. I finished the vehicles in last December, I feel, or maybe in like the early part of January. I'm not going to count those. And then I have this panel van, but yeah, it's been a tough year for myself too. And I
Jen?
have that big ass T58 I got to finish. I want to get
Mm.
that done. It's like the vehicle's done. I just got to finish two figures for it. And I have the base generically sculpted. I just got to add groundwork to it. But that's one thing I really want to get done. It's going to probably get priority in December to finish before the new year.
You did the M5 also, the 48 scale Sherman or for Stewart. Sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah, I did that. I gave it away to Andy Taylor. That's why I
Yeah.
forgot about it. That was the 48 and
Okay.
48 build.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Space
Yeah.
Marines? You did a couple of those, right?
Yeah, just one I did. I
Hmm.
finished. So it's
Mm.
been pretty slow though. It's
Yeah.
been a tough year, but I hope for Christmas time I'll be out of town for about half of it, but I'll have a week almost uninterrupted when I get back. So I hope to get a lot done. I
Well,
hope to finish a lot.
Jensen finished more models this year than he did the last two combined, I feel,
Yeah.
because I mean we saw four of them at SMC, so
Yeah.
yeah, four models for him. I think he had kind of a banner year. And then TJ, what's your count?
Officially three, but like JB, it's kind of hard to count that the Sherman 3 that I did that I gave to Spud because it was literally like 95% done. I'd already weathered like one half of it, like one side, and I weathered the second half and then weathered the tracks. And I painted like four figures for it, so I mean, it took me a couple of days to finish it when it was essentially done. But and then yeah, the knocked out A1 and the P40. Those are the only two that I started this year and then finished. I might be able to finish the FM2, but that again was maybe like half done. I had to build the wings. The fuselage was already done. I have to, and then build the engine and all that stuff. So yeah, I might be able to finish that, and then I'll probably definitely finish building this initial A1, and I might even paint it because it doesn't have a whole lot going on paint wise. It's all drab, and it's not even really that dirty because all the pictures of it are after I got to Aberdeen Proving Grounds. And it's definitely
Mhm.
dirty because they drove it around. I mean, it's a freaking proving ground.
Hmm.
And the handful of photos of it, there's photos like from every side, which is cool. Like legitimately, like front, back, side, and one kind of like from the top. It's
Mm.
definitely used. And the one from the top, you can see like spilled fuel from the fuel filler ports and dirt and just grime from, I guess, the guys walking all over it and driving it around. So I could probably finish that this year. That'd be cool because then I could get four, and then like the little Shenka, I could probably. I mean, it's a little tiny guy. It's like this big. I could, if I really put my mind to it, I could probably do this in like a weekend.
Mm.
So we'll see. Yeah, but just three with an asterisk. Really like two.
I think we all have to take the asterisk. I think JB,
Yeah.
we better give you December. I don't think any of us are in a place where we can not count partially partially built things. I think we need to take everything we can get for 2025.
Yeah.
And I better get a Dauntless done before the end of the year. Dang.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I kind of mentioned it in a Facebook post I did after I got back from SMC that yeah, I've definitely slowed down, but like I feel like at least for me, like what I've been doing lately has been better than anything else I've
Yeah.
done.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to me, that's been a good trade-off. I just don't feel the need just to like just blast work out for no
Yeah.
reason other than to say I got it done. Well, I'd
Mhm.
rather just do like something like really, really good, or I guess really, really well. Sorry for the bad English there. To me, that means more than like, oh, I did a whole bunch of stuff. Look how much stuff I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just whatever. Just slow down and get better. I think it's
Yeah.
better in the long run for me and probably everyone else.
Yeah.
I think that's great perspective. The one of the things we've talked about is at that show with letters that we went to. You just I think just the way that you approach your builds, and the planning and everything. I feel like my path has been altered, and so I've been doing a lot of research and looking at photos and everything, and not my approach in the past has been, oh, I really like this F-14. Let's do a model of an F-14, but it's actually, no, I really want to do this story or this photo. And now what are the elements that I need to kind of do that? And so, yeah, I feel like even in just the planning stages, TJ, that's a great point. I think you just approach things differently. At least
Yeah.
I'm trying
Yeah,
to do that.
I mean, it's a more mature approach, I guess. Not that's kind of a dumb thing to say, but like, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure some of you guys are similar, but I've done I don't like I guess soul searching, but like thinking about how I approach the hobby a lot. And like I'd mentioned in my post, like, yeah, I kind of gotta, me and JP was the same way. Like, oh, like you guys finished so many models. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, we did. But then
Good.
I look at what I did then compared to what I do now. I'm like, man, I like this better. This is like this looks way better. This is a better model than not that
Yeah.
what I did before was bad, but yeah, I don't know. And just yeah,
Yeah.
it
I
just
agree.
I'd rather just take my time and do something really, really well and
Yeah.
put thought into it and do the best that I can than just push out and
Hmm.
just so can say that I did and I can post things on my Facebook page because it's just like cool. All right, like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're right, TJ. I mean, I think we've all changed that way a little bit. I mean, I remember one of the key things for me this year was when we interviewed Spud and Pete, and they were talking about how they only do a certain amount and they focus so much on their builds like that, and especially with Spud doing one 16th model one a year, and then Peter's doing 1 to 2 dioramas a year, but he's focusing on making it better and finding the story and building better and stuff like that. And then you go to that show we don't want people to get too drunk for. You see the works and stuff like that. You see what people are doing, and for a long time I was just trying to throw so much stuff out there that it wasn't good. And then I slowed down. I think listening to you guys and listening to people we've interviewed, and and saying, hey, maybe you slow down, it gets better, and it definitely does. And I think that's definitely why mine's decreased. So I'm trying to focus more on being better at what I do and not jumping all over the place. So just what it is. We're getting older. Sorry,
Well,
man.
yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, we're all getting older, and we're all seeing things differently. And so I think it's just the way it is.
I guess part of it is like, all right, so you finish a whole load of kids 1 year. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you get? Like, what's okay? You win.
Yeah.
What do you win? You win.
Mhm.
Most kids finished in a year. Good job. No one cares.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd rather just, I don't know, instead of just, I get so annoyed when people just blast Facebook and other social media with just, it's like, no one cares. I don't give a shit. And
Yeah.
most of these other people don't. Anyone that really cares, I don't know. I don't think they really do. And again, that's just me just blasting out low quality shit and like, okay, cool. Like, good job. Good for you.
Hmm.
Like, how about doing something like really good? Because I know anyone can do it. Like we've mentioned before, like isn't that hard? Literally anyone can do this. Like, I don't know. Yeah, not to be negative, but yeah, it
Yeah.
just really annoys me.
Go ahead, Scott. I saw you unmute.
Yeah. Come on, you got something to say.
He was coming in with a controversial rebuttal.
You can tell by the look on his face. Just
He
say
was
it, Scott.
winding up.
I was just trying to decide, what JB was doing over there, but yeah.
No, I was actually looking online at some of the most completed stuff, and then I stumbled upon this is random, so we're gonna do it live, but giving Russ Clark a shout out for his birthday. He's wearing a Plastic Posse shirt at
Oh, nice.
a hoodie
Nice.
at Korean barbecue. So
Cool.
Russ's work is awesome, and I really appreciate him wearing the colors out in public. So yeah, I wanted to give that a shout out while I was looking. But yeah, I was just kind of looking over our Facebook page and what's been done because TJ mentioned people blasting work everywhere, and there's a lot of good stuff on there. Peter's making some great progress on the F-14, which I'm super excited to see how he has that turnout. And one of the things I stumbled upon, and TJ, we're just going to ask you to continue talking, is the museum you went to yesterday. I really wanted to make it work, but work told me otherwise. But maybe tell our listeners the museum that you and the NOVAMPS crew got a chance to look at. I think there's some really special pieces there.
Down at I guess it's called Fort Lee again. Who even knows? But down in Petersburg, Virginia, the U.S. Army Ordnance Training Support Facility is down there, and they have it used to be a lot of it used to be the Ordnance Museum at Aberdeen. A lot of that stuff's been filtered out to other collections. I know a fair amount of it's down in Fort Benning too. Yeah, so we went to the TSF as they call it. It's really really cool. And the best part about it is it's on an enclave of Fort Lee, so you don't have to go through visitor control. So, which is way easier than getting
Oh,
to the
that's super
collection at Benning.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
you just drive
is.
right into it.
That's
Um,
awesome.
it's a really really interesting collection. They have a lot of really cool stuff there, stuff that I've never seen before because a lot of it's unique. Obviously, I think the most unique thing that they have that all the German armor guys are going to love is they have an elephant. They have the only elephant. Because as JB, you told me yesterday, the one in Russia is a Ferdinand, which is similar, but it's
It's
not
technically the
not the same.
same. Yeah, after Kursk, they took all the Ferdinands and converted them to elephants. But yeah, it's the only true elephant left.
Yeah, just like a lot of really really cool stuff. One of the things I really like there, they have the M3A1 cast hull Lee, which is the coolest version of the Lee, just because it's so ridiculous. Like when you anyone that's ever seen like an actual Lee in person, you're like, what the hell? Because for it's like 15 feet tall. Like it is
Huge.
stupidly tall. And the cast one is just it's a huge chunk of metal, right? Like I've seen A1s, like M4 A1s, I've been on them and in them, and it's cool. But this thing is it's bigger. It is, I don't know, it's so dumb. The Lee is so stupid, but I love it so much. I think that's the only castle one I've ever seen.
It's the only one.
I've seen
Yeah.
other Lees before. Yeah, it's really cool. And the other thing they had that I really liked was they had a T-88, which is a M18 Hellcat with a 105 howitzer in the turret. It's the only one they built. It was a test. That's what obviously an experimental. That's what the T stands for. And they canceled it because they're like, yeah, I don't think it's going to work. But
Little stubby like Jensen.
yeah, oh, I saw it. I'm like, this could be built, right? Like someone could do this. It's just a 105. Like you
Yeah.
just need a breech and a barrel, and it looked like the Sherman mount that they put in the M4 105s. It's probably a little bit different, but
It
yeah, I don't
just
know. I was like, man, that is really cool. And the other cool thing they had is they had an M4A4, so like the Sherman with the Chrysler multi-bank in it, but it had like the experimental HVSS, which was not double road wheeled, so it had normal like Sherman tracks on it, but with horizontal volute spring suspension. Is really weird. I think it's the only one. I would imagine it's got to be the only one in existence. It's really cool. I'd like to see someone like make that. I don't know if Jackson's going to do it. I think he might have talked about it because it is pretty neat to see that where like it has a lot of similarities with the actual HVSS that they used in production. Like you can see it, but it is yeah really weird. And what was the other really cool thing they had? That Martyr 3, which I think JB was saying is pretty unique. I think we got that in North Africa. That's where we
Very
captured
yeah.
early.
that.
Yeah, very early.
Yeah, there's only two of those. I think there's only two. There's that one and there's the one at Samora. I don't think there's one at Kabinka. Very unique because it's the 38. It's a really the vehicle itself is crazy. It's a 38T chassis, so it's Czech. It was the superstructure was built by the Germans, and then it has a Russian 76 gun in it because they captured so many during the initial invasion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
super,
they had
super cool.
Scott's favorite and my other favorite as well. They had a Crusader Mark III,
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Which
looks
is
a
pretty
lot
cool.
better.
I think it's the only Mark III in the United States. I think I heard the docent say. I can't remember. We've seen them before, obviously in Buffington, but yeah, it's pretty cool. And the other thing they had, it obviously as an ordnance museum, they had a load of artillery pieces
hmm
and some really cool ones. They had one of my favorites. They had two of the Schneider 155s,
Mm.
both the World War One configuration and the World War Two configuration that the Marines used in the Pacific, so it had pneumatic tires. Other than that, it's essentially the same. And then a lot of Civil War era artillery, which was really cool. Me and Pat were kind of like geeking out over that. They had like a legit like bronze 12 pounder Napoleon, and then
Oh
they also
wow.
had so the North captured a bunch of copper mines, which you need copper to make bronze in like Tennessee or something pretty early, about halfway through the war. So they effectively cut off the Confederates' source of copper, so they couldn't make bronze artillery, which I don't know if anyone knows, but most artillery pieces back then were made out of bronze.
Yeah.
So what the Confederates did was they made their own indigenous iron-bodied 12-pound Napoleons, but because iron is not as good at, I guess, ballistics and it has a tendency to explode, they put a like a band around the end where you would put like the charge, and it's really cool. I don't know how many survive. I've never seen one before, but they had one there. It was pretty cool. And they also had one of the Union siege mortars, like from the siege of Petersburg.
Mm.
There's a very famous photo of one. It's called the Dictator. So they
Mhm.
put it on a train and it would like spin around, and it's just like a big round piece of cast iron that's like literally like arms width with a hole in it, and they just put a ball in it and shoot it. And the other cool things they had a French mortar from the Revolutionary War, totally legit, very cool, super like fancy decorated. Had like was that Louis the 16th? I can't remember which Louis was king of France back then, but it had his personal seal on it. Might have been the 14th. I feel bad. I should know that. With like a sun and like the handles were dolphins and all this other stuff. And then they had I think it was a 6 pounder cannon that they apparently found in a swamp, just like
Wow.
randomly. That was a like legit Revolutionary War piece that I guess was just lost. I think also around Petersburg. And you can see where it had been laying in the swamp because you can like on the like laterally there was like a line of corrosion where that it had been
Wow.
embedded in the ground.
Mm.
Mm.
And I was like, wow, that is really cool. and they have it on they have all this stuff like on modern, restored carriages and stuff, so it looks pretty much like how it would have looked
Wow.
during the American Revolutionary War. Yeah, really cool museum. It's not open to the public. They do open houses. I don't think they have their 2026 schedule out yet, but yeah, we were very fortunate to get to go see it, and yeah, it was fun. We spent, I was probably there an hour and a half, and then we went to go had some pizza and beer at a brewery in downtown Petersburg.
Yeah, that collection has just some truly unique pieces. I mean, it's got a KV-1. It's the only
Oh
one in the
yeah,
United States.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was cool. I don't think I've ever seen a KV one.
Yeah, there's one tucked back in the corner of Bovington, but you could barely see it in that big hall. But yeah, KV-1, I've climbed in that before. That T-34 with the cutaway side, that has been like locked away. That was one of the first vehicles that the Ordnance Museum restored, and it basically disappeared from public view forever. And then I got to talk about the Hetzer abomination. You posted pictures, and that thing is just like, what the hell were they thinking? I think I read online. So for our listeners, a couple things. The Army Ordnance Museum back in the 40s or 50s, they cut the sides of the vehicles to basically show them as training aids to soldiers, and you can still see it today. The King Tiger has it at Benning. That's like a key trait of armored vehicles from Aberdeen, is they cut the sides out of most of the German stuff. Some of them they didn't, but like the Tiger 1, the Tiger 2, Panther, but the Hetzer they have, or the Jagdpanzer 38, as the technical term, they sanded it down. So it was always painted that yellow, or not yellow, the gray, ugly color from Aberdeen. And then in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, they decided to restore it. And rumor has it, I think I read it on Missing Links, they justified the paint scheme because, oh yeah, we sanded it down and we saw these colors. In what world? Because they painted it yellow, white, gray, and this like dark emerald green, and those are wildly not accurate whatsoever. So I'm sure they got I think it's a Skoda hard edge scheme. They might have gotten that kind of correct because they saw the pattern underneath the gray from Aberdeen, but man, they trounced those colors. They are terrible. And I know Scott about jumped on a plane and went and burned it down when he saw it. But yeah, now it's fortunate it's restored. It looks very nice. Unfortunately, the colors are just wildly inaccurate, and you often wonder like, how bad does a museum have to be to get it that wrong? But yeah, truly unique piece. And then you saw there also Anzio Annie, which is the Leopold railgun.
I forgot to mention that the Krupp K5.
Yeah, it's one of two left. That's awesome. You saw Atomic Annie,
Yeah,
the portable.
M65, I think.
And then I loved it. You shared a picture of Davy Crockett where it's like, if you
Yeah,
launch this, you're going to die as well.
yeah. We were talking about that because I'm like, we were like walking around and I ran into Pat. I'm like, Pat, they have a Davy Crockett over there. He's like, they do? Went over there and looked at it, and I'm like, dude, there's no way. Like, there's no way I would want to ever shoot that thing.
No way, you're dead if you shoot that.
Like, you're probably dead if you shoot anything. Like, you probably good chance. But like, if you're the guy next to it, maybe you could survive. But like I get the theory, right? Like I understand, like, yeah, that was kind of like the idea. Oh yeah, like we'll have these like low yield tactical nukes, just for the battlefield and cool. But like to put one on the end of a recoilless rifle and be like, hey, go shoot that. Like it's one thing, like the atomic cannon is crazy enough in my opinion, because you're like, dude, that's a big ass gun, and you're gonna put a nuclear warhead in it
A
and
nuke
shoot it.
shell, yes.
Yeah.
But I guess, at least with that, like you could probably do it like kind of far away,
The
I
standoff
guess.
is okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But like the Davy Crockett is a freaking recoilless rifle with a nuke on the end of it. I'm like I'm pretty
And
sure
it's not
recoilless rifles.
aerodynamic.
No,
It looks like something out of Warner Brothers. Wile E.
like,
Coyote shooting that bastard off.
I'm like, what the
Acme.
hell, man?
Acme built it, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that Hetzer. Pat sent me a couple photos of it, and I saw TJ. I saw some of your group's photos, but yeah, just why would you do that? I will say, it really hurts when you see the sides cut out of those vehicles, but they did a nice job on the restoration, putting, I guess mannequins in there so you could see kind of what the crew would look like. So that was a nice touch to try and make it, a little better. And like JB said, the vehicle itself looks really, really good, but oh man, that paint job hurts my eyes.
Yeah.
And they have an M6 there, the
Hmm.
stupid heavy tank that we built. I think that's the only one. I don't think they have one in Benning. I don't remember seeing one. They have the T-26, that big huge thing with the fixed gun on the front, but I don't think they have an M6.
Yeah, and the tracks, unfortunately, they've been missing on that vehicle forever, and
Yeah,
I doubt it'll ever have tracks.
no, but it's pretty cool. It's a shame there's not a really good kit of that. There's just that terrible Dragon Black Label one that sucks.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, TJ. I certainly am going to have be on the lookout for the 2026 schedule. That's a museum I'd love to get to. A lot of those vehicles I saw in their former life at the Ordnance Museum, and it's nice to see them under shelter and being well preserved. I think there's, yeah, some really true gems there, and glad you and the guys got to see it. And Jackson drug his hungover ass there too. That's pretty cool to see.
He was
I
very
think
late.
he was very late. He probably, what is it, the hair of the dog? So he just kept rolling after the museum at the brewery, I bet.
Yeah.
So anyway, we love him. Shout out to Jackson, M36 Modeling. Buy his Patreon or buy his cult stuff. All right, so let's wrap up this episode. I'm going to turn it over to Scott to take us home. It's just a light discussion today, but feel free, listeners, if you want to talk about what is that aircraft model you look to build in 2026, we'd love to hear about it, or share anything else. We're always looking for topics to cover, and would love any subject that you want to cover. We'll take a look at. So with that, over to Scott to take us home.
Yeah, thanks, JB. Thanks, everybody, for joining us for episode 128. It'll probably be after Thanksgiving when you hear this, but we want to wish each and every one of you a happy Thanksgiving. We also want to wish a happy birthday to Martin Bludders and also Pat Brown, who had his birthday this week. So happy birthday, you guys. We really appreciate it. We also want to give a shout out to our sponsors, AK Interactive, Micro World Games, Bases by Bill, Tamiya USA, and Tankcraft. One of the ways that you can help to support the Plastic Posse is to become an outrider. And if you want to become an outrider, it's super easy. We always say you can even do it wearing lounge trousers. Hopefully, those Patreons that we do have are enjoying our exclusive YouTube special that we did with the Four Corners Modeling Club. That was a lot of fun. And right now, the only way you can see that is over on our Patreon. And then also enjoying the photos of JB's van, his Citroen van, which are over there. So if you'd like to see those and other content, just head on over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/Plastic Posse Podcast. You can set up a recurring donation there. These contributions help us offset the costs of bringing you the posse. It helps to buy merch. It helps to sponsor awards at model shows. Everything just goes back to helping the podcast community be everything that it is today. There's 3 different tiers of support. They start at just $1 a month, and you also get great benefits like early access to podcasts, premium access to the host, chance to appear on one of our podcasts, and also exclusive Triple P content like we've mentioned already, and social events at model shows.
Let's recognize our amazing deputy marshals. These loyal contributors support the posse, what the posse does, and we genuinely appreciate each and every one of you. They are, in no particular order, Martin Holst, Carol Doran, Pat Brown, Ryan Smith, Alamo Squadron Model Fiesta, Curtis Towers, Winston Gould, The Quiet Corner Modeler, Daryl Miller, Rob Booth, David Clark, Richard Lane, Robbie Knopfs, Wesley Becker, Eric DeGleesh, David Wassel, Matt Tutman, Zach Pease, Brett Mercan, Greg Williams, Nick Wolf, Brian Clark, Sean Earl, Black Hat Scale Models, Craig Jarbo, Red Beach One Studios, James Rondo, Mike Norris, Stephen Rodwell, Rick Cooper, Eric Cavina, John Hale, Eric Kane, Logan Hansen, Tim Gidcombe, Dan Newman, Robert Blocker, Tyler Moore, Derek Post, Craig Flynn, Ken Childress, Drew Gardner, Scott Hall, Frank Perrone, Jeremy Diamond, Terry Wilkinson, Chris Lovewell, Andrew Callis, Ethan Idemill, Steve Baker, Patrick Brown, Jay Kidd, Brandon Gentry, Lee Fogel, Robert Klein, Mark Ewing, Toadman, Model Doc, Greg James, Les Procala, John Everett, Uncle Buck, Mark Bradley, Eric Brubaker, Jeremy Moore, DB Scale Model Studio, Jeremy Elliott, Mike Talley, Previous Seat, Mediocre Middle-Aged Modeler, Dan Knopfel, and JC Osborne.
Let's not forget the posse foreman. This crew is made up of posse outriders who give the deputy marshals a hand, and we'd also like to thank them for their support. We want to give a very special welcome to our friend Bart Tennis, Voice of Bob, Graham, Keith, Dwayne, AK Armor, Bill, Casey, Therese, Russ, Stefan, Mikkel, LeVar, Gil, Mike, Michael, Scott, Emery, The Krieger, Ozzy Bodler, William, Jeff, Eddie, Ross, Warhoff Models, G. Baker, Tom Stuff, Crazy Loca, Len, Cliff, Devane, Cody, Nuke Man Mike, Paul, iBones Models, Mr. Grizz, Jackson, Joe, Chris, Jamie, MD Models, Papa, Steve, Munsell, JB, Eric, Matthew, and David.
All right. And of course, our $1 and free Posse Outriders. Thanks, guys. We really appreciate it.